What's good, everybody? It's the Clown with Cam Show. Shout out to my Indiana Pacers taking Game 3. This was a must-win for the Pacers. If they did not win Game 3, they would have been swept. Really, the Pacers should be up 3-0 in this series, at least 2-1. But I want to give a shout-out to Andrew Nembhard with a huge three late game. It was tied up 106. He hit a big three to go up 106 to 109. Big players make big plays, and yes, he's a role player, but this is huge for the Pacers. A big momentum shift, and finally, Tyrese Halliburton steps up. Finally, this game. I mean, really, the whole playoffs, he's been struggling recently, but he's had 35 this game and 7 assists, and that's what you need for your best player. For the Pacers to step up, and I understand they got screwed over in Game 1, but right now, we got to give a shout-out to Nembhard. What a three. Huge three, a dagger three to really put the nail in the coffin. This, like I said, this was a must-win for the Pacers. Now, what's next for Game 4? Obviously, OG's probably going to be back for the Knicks. The Knicks are going to come lock and loaded. Dante went off for the Knicks, 35. Went crazy this game. But, really, Jalen Brunson is not 100%. We see that. He only had 26 this game. 2 for 6 from the three-point line, but this was the Pacers game. I said it all along. This was a must-win game. The Knicks could afford to take an L. They're fine. They're still up 2-1. I even said this is going to go 7 games. I really believe that. I think this series is destined to go 7 games. The rivalry that it is, all the way back to Reggie Miller, Spike Lee days back in the 90s. That was so long ago, like crazy, right? Or even early 2000s around that time. But shout out to the Indiana Pacers getting the dub. This was a must-win, like I said. If they would have lost, they would have got swept. But like I said, this is going to be a 7-game series. I can't wait to see what happens. But if the Pacers want to win this series, Tyrese Halliburton has to go off for 30-plus a game. He just has to, dude. You cannot afford to go for 15, even single-digit numbers that he's put up this postseason. This is the time where you're going to have to start snapping off. And finally, Halliburton decided to go crazy, which he needed to. He really did. And, shout out to Miles Turner, 21 and 10. I just think if Miles Turner really played angry, the Indiana Pacers would be crazy right now. They really would. I'm saying Miles Turner could easily put up 25-plus points a game and 20 boards a game. If he played angry, if he played with passion a little bit more, if he played hungry. I just think Miles Turner really, his 11th overall pick, in the 2015 NBA draft, the Pacers took him. They could have got Booker, who went at 13. I think they really should have got Booker and kept Sabonis, and I think the Indiana Pacers would be way better, but everything happens for a reason. I just think right now, Miles Turner, if he just plays a little bit more angry, dude, has a little bit more passion, his numbers would go up. They really would. Nobody could guard Miles Turner on the New York Knicks. Miles Turner is a mismatch. I'm telling you, even out east, even against the Celtics, he's a mismatch. Even against the Cavs, he's a mismatch. So I just think Miles Turner really is the X-Factor type of player. Besides Tyrese Halliburton, Miles Turner could easily go more crazy. He really can for the Pacers, but this was a must-win for the Pacers. I knew they would win. They were leading at halftime, gave up the lead in the third quarter to start the fourth, but they finally turned it around. And big shots down the stretch for the Pacers. Homage to them, and finally we get a dub. We needed Game 3. Game 4 is on Sunday. They need to get another dub, tie the series, going back to New York. They have to, because honestly, if they do lose Game 4 and they go back to Game 5, in New York, down 3-1, it's wraps. So they have to win back-to-back games at home. They know that. They know what's at stake. Tyrese Halliburton and Miles Turner are the two key factors for the Indiana Pacers if they want to win this series. If they want to win, it's going to be those two guys. So shout out to the Pacers getting a big dub. And then we got the Cleveland Cavaliers beating the Boston Celtics. Everybody's, fan favorite Boston Celtics have a great roster. Probably the best in the playoffs right now. Arguably. Yes, 100%. You got Jason Tatum, who had 25 points and 7 boards in Game 2. Really is not the same Jason Tatum that I'm used to seeing during the regular season. Something's wrong with Jason Tatum. I don't know what it is. If it's, family issues, mental issues, something's going on, because he does not play aggressive like he's normally used to playing. Is it because of the playoffs? Is it because of the pressure? I don't know. There's something personal going on in Jason Tatum's life, because let me tell you, he's the best player on that court. I understand Davion Mitchell. Shout out to Davion Mitchell. I mean, a dog. I would put him at number 2 on the court as best player out of that Cavs. Boston series, but overall, Tatum just coughing it up. And even like, I just feel like, man, Boston, they just don't have that flow. They just don't have that grit. They just don't. They don't. I don't really know what much to say about Boston besides they're overhyped. They're the most overhyped team in the NBA. They say, oh, they're a superstar team. Like, really? I mean, yes, I understand Drew Holiday. Al Horford's been in the league way too long. He's washed up. He's still getting dogged. I understand he's a good fundamental player, but right now, in this time, dude, like, Al Horford should be coming off the bench, dude. He's terrible right now. I'm sorry to say. And Jaylen Brown and Tatum, I don't know what it is. They just do not mesh together. They don't. They just don't play well together. I don't know what it is. What's the deal with that? One player goes off the other game. The other one plays like crap. Then, Tatum goes off. Jaylen Brown plays like crap. It's vice versa, but they got smoked 118-94 at home, and they only lost 4 games in the regular season at home. It's pathetic. If I'm Boston right now, I'm realizing you guys are not going to win the championship. Even if you guys happen to make the NBA Finals this year, you're not going to win. You're not, dude. You're just not. It's not meant to be, dude. It really isn't, man. It's just, for the Boston, I just think they're overhyped. They're an overhyped team. They got a great roster. I understand that. Even though I love Derek White, I think he's the reason, really, they won Game 1. Derek White went crazy. I think Derek White is one of those players that you come off the bench, he just wets threes, does all this good stuff that you want to see for the Boston Celtics. And then you got Pritchard, the heart and soul, a gritty type of player, a bulldog type of player that's going to dive on the floor. I don't think Tatum's going to really dive on the floor. Tatum playing right now, it's just out of, I don't understand what he's thinking. There were some plays that I'm watching Jason Tatum, and I'm just like, dude, take it to the hole. He's passing it to the third, fourth best player in Boston, and I'm like, dude, Tatum, the old Tatum would have took that in and dunked it, took it in and hit a 15-foot mid-range jump shot. But, Tatum right now, I don't know what it is. He's just out of sync. And if Tatum continues to play like this and Jaylen Brown plays inconsistent, that Jaylen Brown does. I think Jaylen Brown's another overhyped type of player. One game he's great, the other game he's not. I want a player that's consistently putting up great numbers. I mean, we look at the GOAT, LeBron James, averaged over 25 points in his 20-year career in the NBA, 21 years in the NBA, averaged over 25 points a game. The top 5 in assists, most points all time. I don't even want to get into LeBron right now, but LeBron is the freaking GOAT. He really is. And it really drives me crazy when, Anthony Edwards is an amazing player. They're calling him, the baby Jordan. Well, if he's the baby Jordan, well, LeBron's the dad of Michael Jordan then. Straight up. LeBron top 5 in assists, most points all time. What are we talking about here? You know what I'm saying? Dude, the numbers don't lie. They don't. Most triple-doubles in NBA Finals history, LeBron James. Dude, the list goes on, but I'm not trying to throw shade at Anthony Edwards. He's an amazing athlete, amazing player, and it makes sense why he's getting compared to Jordan. He dunks it, all that stuff, but at 22, LeBron had better numbers. Literally, LeBron came in the league dunking on people year in and year out. You get a 20-year career, dude. Come on, dude. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. I do think Minnesota's going to run through Denver. I kind of given up on Denver. Denver taking 2 L's at home. That's crazy to me. But back to Boston, I'm telling you right now, Boston's not winning the NBA championship. They're just not built for it right now. And I think this is their last year at really winning the NBA championship. I think they're going to start to trade players on that roster this offseason if they do happen to fail from a championship. I'm straight up. That's just how it's going to go. For Boston, dude. This is the last really good run in the next 10 years for you guys. Tatum or Jaylen Brown, one of them are going to get traded, and the whole dynamic of the Boston Celtics are going to be broken up. Ever since they lost to Steph Curry a couple years ago in the NBA Finals when they got cooked by Curry. Curry literally single-handedly carried the Golden State Warriors to the finals and really beat them by themselves. Curry just cooked the Boston Celtics, and they haven't recovered since. They really haven't, dude. Look at Boston now, dude. They're getting blown out by the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I really give the Cleveland Cavaliers a shot here. With Davion Mitchell, I'm telling you right now, I think the Cavs, if they continue to play like that, the defense they did, they had some great players step up, like LeVert, 21 points, who LeVert played on the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers got rid of him. They got rid of LeVert like crazy. They got rid of Sabonis. We're talking great NBA players here, crazy. And then you got Evan Mobley, 21 points and 10 boards for the Cleveland Cavs in Game 2 against Boston. That's crazy, dude. They're putting up great numbers, and I'm telling you, it's not going to be a cakewalk. I do think Boston's going to win the series 100%, but I'm telling you, do not give up on the Cleveland Cavs right now. I cannot give up on them, dude. You just can't. And then you got Allen coming back to center for the Cleveland Cavaliers, coming back after a rib injury. He's going to be fresh. I'm telling you, the Cavs might take Game 3. And if the Cavs do take Game 3 going up 2-1 against Boston, dude, that's crazy, man. Boston, just a bunch of prima donnas. They're not going to win it. That's all I know. So rest in peace to the Boston Celtics. And then freaking the Dallas Mavericks win Game 2 against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Luka had a double-double. PJ Washington had a double-double. Both had 29 points. And I think right now Kyrie only had 9 points and 11 assists. I'm telling you right now in Game 3, go the over for Kyrie points. I think Kyrie is due for a big game, a big scoring type of game. With Luka questionable right now with knee soreness, Luka always seems to be banged up as well. It looks like Luka's still eating at McDonald's 3 times a week like Zion Williamson. It's just like, dude, you guys are millionaires right now. You should have your own personal chef making you all organic foods. You shouldn't be eating at fast food restaurants, dude. Straight up. Let's be honest here. But the Mavs, like I said, I think the Mavs win this series. I really do. Even though SGA is a baller, which I really thought that he should have won MVP this year in the NBA. Even though Jokic won the MVP, hats off to Jokic again, but I think SGA deserved to win the MVP. I mean, we're talking like he single-handedly carried OKC to a number 1 seed out west. And look at, Denver right now. They're struggling. They might get swept by the Minnesota Timberwolves. And we're talking OKC, a number 1 seed that really might go to the NBA Finals this year. If not make it to the Western Conference Finals. I just think it's crazy, man. It's kind of political. We know the NBA is political, but it's crazy. I mean, he averaged over 30 points a game this year. SGA snapped off like crazy, and they give it to Jokic. Dude, I don't understand that. Me being born into basketball, being born in the state of basketball, I just think, looking at SGA, a guard that he is, I play point guard. He's a shooter. He loves to create off the dribble. He's a skilled player. Jokic is tall, super tall, super overweight, kind of. Yes, he's a great passer. He's a great player, but the SGA should have won MVP this year, and it kind of sucks, man. It sucks that they kind of took it away from him, but yay, he's still young. He's really young, only 25 years old, so I think in a year, next year, he could arguably win MVP, but what if he averages 29 points and he wins MVP? It just doesn't make sense. SGA should have won MVP. I think this series is going to be like the Indiana Pacers New York Knicks series. I think Mavs Thunder could easily go 7 games, and it's going to be epic. It's going to come down to Luka and Kyrie. Can they really go off the jump here? Can they go off the cliff, so to speak, and say, hey, we're going to take one for the team, and we're going to go all in here? We really are, and that's what the Mavs need to do. Tim Hardaway Jr. comes off the bench, 17 points, very productive player out of Michigan. Shout out to Tim Hardaway Jr. Shout out to his dad, the senior. I think he's a better hooper than his son, but regardless, I'm telling you right now, I'm going Mavs. I'm sticking with my MO. I'm sticking with my gut. I'm going to Dallas Mavericks to win against OKC, and I'm calling it just like that. So that's that. And then we got the Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Denver Nuggets. Denver right now down 2-0 in Minnesota. It's not looking good. Anthony Edwards, everybody's saying he's the next MJ. Well, let's see here. Even though LeBron had better numbers at age 39 than Anthony Edwards, you know what I'm saying? But they call LeBron Lee Bum, but then they call Anthony Edwards Baby Jordan. Make it make sense. Everybody, I think LeBron James is the most hated athlete of all time. Even more hated than Floyd Money Mayweather. Let that sink in. That's pretty crazy. But I think Minnesota, I kind of given up on the Nuggets now. Murray's playing like crap. Really should be suspended Game 3 for throwing a heating pad during a live game. If Draymond Green did that, they would have suspended him 4 games. Or at least 1 game and gave him like a $500,000 fine. But hey, we're going to give him a slap on the wrist. Murray's a respectable player. He doesn't seem to be a cuss-worthy guy. He doesn't have many tattoos. The stereotypical, America. Come on, dude. Murray should be suspended Game 3. That's ridiculous, dude. Throwing a heating pad, someone could have twisted their ankle, broke their ankle, tore their ACL during a live play. That's ridiculous, dude. The NBA is kind of, it's kind of getting weird. No wonder the numbers are going down right now because it's just this type of stuff happens. Really, dude? Murray just gets a slap on the wrist here, and the Pacers coach gets fined like $50K for saying something silly. It's insane to me. It really is. But right now, I'm giving up on the Nuggets. I really am. Even though they're defending champions, Jokic is former MVP. Now, obviously, if they win Game 3, they have hope. But if they go down 3-0, it's over. It's wraps. That's it. But right now, the way Minnesota's playing, dude, it's hard to bet against Minnesota right now. Even though I called the Denver Nuggets to win this series, I was completely wrong. I'm kind of flipping the script here and saying, wow, Anthony Edwards, they got Rudy Gobert, Kyle Anthony Towns. I'm like, dude, it's just kind of unfair right now. I think Minnesota's going to win probably in 5, and maybe even 4, and sweep the defending champions, which sounds crazy, but I'm saying 5 games. Minnesota's going to take that series. But my Indiana Pacers, New York Knicks, like I said, this is the best series out of any of the playoffs matchups right now. By far, this is the most entertaining series, and I think Indy's going to win Game 4 on Sunday. That's what they need to do. If they go down 3-1, it's wraps. So with Jalen Brunson banged up, OG's still out right now. I think this is the time where the Pacers need to capitalize. And I understand Game 1, you guys shoulda, coulda, woulda had it. Blame the rest, whatever you want to do. Life isn't fair. We get that. But I'm telling you, the Indiana Pacers are going to win Game 4. The series is tied 2-2, going back to Indy. And I'm telling you right now, do not give up on the Cavs. Davion Mitchell, arguably the next Kyrie, man. He plays like Kyrie. I love Davion Mitchell, man. He's just snapping off. And if he goes crazy against the Celtics, it's a rude awakening. But I'm still taking the Celtics to win that series. Take off to my Indiana Pacers in playoff basketball. It's the Clown with Cavs show. Let's go!